Hey guys, welcome to another couch conversation on Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel I share with you everything personal finance as well as lifestyle content in the form of vlogs. Today's video I wanted to talk about buying a 3-bed 2-bath house as a single woman. So that is what today's couch conversation is going to be about. So without further ado, let us get into today's video. So earlier this week I filmed and shared a video with you about my mortgage going up by £1,000 in the last 5 years since I have been a homeowner. And in there I alluded to today's topic, which is, buying a 3-bed house even though I am a single woman with no dependents whatsoever, and why I did that. So today's video I wanted to expand further on that, because not only have I been asked this online, but I've also been asked this in person. And if I'm honest, no shade to anybody, but if I'm honest, then I was just like, it's just a question. But the more I see online dialogue of this, the more I'm like, okay, is it just a question? Some people were just curious. Some people are nosy. I mean, I'm nosy about people's finances. I want to know. But sometimes there's certain things where I'm just like, well, do you know what? Good for you. End of. And I wanted to talk about this topic purely because I'm sure there's someone out there who is considering it, but because of social pressures and societal expectations, they're like, maybe I should just wait until I have a partner to do this. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, you go girl, you go gentleman. That's all on you. It's your decision. But sometimes I think we do have information paralysis, and these societal expectations sometimes might weigh us down, and we're just like, you know what, maybe it's not a good idea for me to get a property all by myself. I'm here to tell you that that's bullcrap. This is my personal opinion, that it's bullcrap. You can get a property by yourself, provided you can afford the property, in the long run, and you want to do that. Personally, when I was thinking about buying my first property, buying my home, back in 2016, 17, 18, I was thinking about a 2-bed property. I was thinking about having my own bedroom and having a spare room for my visitors. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking of anything larger than that. And when I look at my finances and income earnings then, that definitely was where I should have sat at in those times. Okay, and that's what I was saving for years. It took me years to save for my property. Now, I had saved enough for a potentially 2-bed by 2019, and that was what I was looking at on the market. But then in 2020 I decided to release equity from my investments. Well, not release equity, but my investments, a lot of them vested, and I decided to release a big chunk from it. And then I expanded how much I had available to me in terms of like the mortgages and also the properties that I was going for. So 2016, 2017, 2018, I am thinking just 2-bed property max. 1 bed would be ideal, but 2-bed, because no offense to anybody, I just don't like the idea of sleeping in my living room in my home. That's just one of the big reasons why I bought my home. I like being able to sleep in my own bedroom, and I know it's a luxury, but I'm just saying, like, I do not really like it. Like, I've been in this house for the last 5 years. I've owned this property for the last 5 years, and I have slept in my living room once. And this is because I had my best friends come to visit and my parents come to visit at the same time. So my parents took their spare room, and then my best friends were like, no, it's okay, you sleep in the bedroom, we'll sleep in the living room. Somehow it didn't sit right with me, because it was going to be at least 2 people in my room, and then somebody was going to have to sleep alone downstairs. So I was just like, No. Okay, fine. I could have slept on the floor in my office, but no, thank you. So I was just like, okay, you guys take my bedroom, I'll sleep in the living room. And even then, I did not sleep on this couch. I spent £1,000 on this couch. I sleep on it during the day. I nap on it during the day. Never sleep on my sofa. Okay, it's very comfortable, but for some reason I'm just anti-sleeping on my sofa. So I took the cushions, the big cushions that I have, and I put them on the floor, and I slept on the floor in the living room. So I have done that once. I did it because obviously the circumstances called for it, but any other time I'm in my bedroom, and that's what I prefer. And I know this might sound selfish. Actually, do not let me be selfish. It's okay. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. But I was just like, no. So going back to 2016, 17, 18, I was also working from an office which was 5 miles away from my home. So then I had an option of maybe 1 day a week working from home. That was fine, but I spent the majority of my time in the office. So then I did not have a need to have a home office, because just 1 day a week working from home, I could work in my living room, I could work from my bed, I could work from my kitchen, whichever I wanted to. So this is what I was thinking then as I was looking to get my first property. But then fast forward to later in 2018, 2019, I started working from home a lot more. I want to say 3 days a week I was working from home. Then 2020 happened and we were all working from home. Well, those of us who could work from home were working from home. So I was now spending 5 days working from home. And I thought, you know what? I do want an office in my home, since my work requires me to work from home. So my preferences on what I wanted to buy then changed. One, because my work shifted to just being 1 day a week in the office to 3 to 5 days a week at home. And I was like, okay, we're going to do that because I need to have an office. I don't want my spare bedroom to be both a bedroom and an office. I wanted it just to be either an office or just a bedroom. But because obviously I was going to be having guests, I knew I wasn't going to make my spare room to be my office. So that was one of the reasons. Second reason, like I said, a lot of my investments are vested, and I was able to have a larger deposit, which opened me up to more options, right? So because it opened me up to more options, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go with a house that has an office as well, or I can use the third bedroom as an office. Now, one of the most important things I must say is that for me choosing to buy a 3-bed home alone, I looked at using, thanks to my financial advisor, mortgage advisor, I looked at my affordability on a long term. So looking at my income then, I could afford a larger house than what I have now. But I wasn't going to be, even though a 3-bed for one person is too much house, I didn't want more house than that. I thought to myself, this was enough. I have this large living room, I have a large kitchen, which I love for me and hate when I have to clean, but I still love for me. I have a spare room for my guests. I have an office and then my bedroom. And I was like, yes, this is enough for me, right? But it all came down to, yes, this is what I wanted, but it came down to the numbers. Could I afford this house if it went up by this much? And remember, when I was buying my house, as I mentioned in my video earlier this week, I had an interest rate back in 2020 of 1.62%. So me and my financial advisor and mortgage advisor, we extrapolated and looked at what if my interest went up to, say, 6%, could I still afford it comfortably? And the answer then, still even now, is yes, I could afford if my interest rates jumped from 1% to say 6%. Sure, in my video earlier and even in the video I shared last year, May, I complained about the fact that my mortgage went up by £600 and now in the last 5 years it's gone up by £1,000. I am allowed to make note of the changes in our way of life. But I still knew it was still within my affordability. Now, another part that I wanted to touch on, and excuse me, I present with some ADHD tendencies, so I seem to jump up and down. So I hope you're still following the story. But anyway, another part that I wanted to cover in today's video is the fact that talking about societal expectations and pressures. There were people close to me who were like, why would you want to buy a 3-bed house? And I told them the same thing I'm telling you guys. I wanted an office, I wanted a spare room, and I wanted my own room. And also, the most important thing, I could afford it. Some were like, yeah, you know, you go girl, good on you. Some were like, well, you know, still I wouldn't. That's okay, you wouldn't, I would, and I did. That's the difference, right? And then there were other people who were like, you know what, why would you want to buy by yourself? You should buy with a partner. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I'm like, if that's what you want to do, you go girl, you do that, because honestly, having a partner does help tremendously. It halves all your bills. I think it halves all your bills. But I also know that I'm in a fortunate position compared to other people where I'm still able to afford all of these things as a single woman. And by single here, we mean not married and no children. That's what we mean here. So I'm just like, sure, you know, for me, it's fine. If you wanted to do it that way, then do it that way. And I also don't mind being my family and my close community's inspiration, because if I look at it, I don't think I personally know anyone who bought a 3-bed house by themselves. I know a lot of people who have bought 3-bed because they are married and they have kids. I know that. And I know single people, and again, not married, no kids, who have bought 1-bed properties or 2-bed properties because, you know, they could afford it and, you know, it made sense for them. I have those examples, but I didn't have anybody who had bought a 3-bed property all by themselves. Like, that was not the example. So why not be the change that I want to see, right? So I wasn't doing it for the plot, but I also doing it for the plot. But because I already worked with my advisors to be like, yes, this is affordable for me, and if things were to change, I could still afford to pay my mortgage and all the bills that are associated with it. I mentioned in the video I shared before this one that I went from all my bills costing me £1,500. So this was my mortgage, which was just under £700, my insurance, so that's my my life insurance as well as my income protection insurance. Then this is my utilities, this is my mobile, this is travel insurance, what else, home insurance, car insurance, all of this adding up to $1,500 a month for the first 2.5 years of being a homeowner, to now where $1,500 is just my mortgage amount. So now to cover all of my bills, it's minimum $2,500 is my bills. So that's my mortgage, my insurances, my utilities, and all of that good jazz. That's $2,500 minimum, right? So it has changed. Cost of living going up, people's wages not going up and stuff like that. So for me, this is why it made sense to have more than one source of income, so more than just my 9 to 5. But I still looked at the numbers to make sure I could still afford the life that I wanted to live now, the life that I want to live in the future. And once I get married and have kids, I'm making sure that I'm doing that with a partner, right? So that these things are halved for us, and we will have more disposable income to spend on the kids and ourselves. But yeah, so we've done it for the plot. We've done it for the inspiration, but also we've done it because why not, right? I know people have opinions, and that's okay. You know, your opinion of what I've done is not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of you, and that's okay. You know, so if you feel, oh my god, I could never buy a 3-bed house by myself, first, it's a waste of money. Again, that is your personal opinion. For me, 5 years in, no regrets. I will still complain about the interest rates. I will still do that. But I still have no regrets about buying my home. Honestly, the fact that I work from home 100%, my work contract right now is 100% home-based. I spend way too much time in this house, and I did not want a smaller space. I wanted a space that's just my office. And those who know me know sometimes I spend more time down here on this sofa working before, you know, I have, oh, my lunchtime is ending in about 20 minutes. My lunchtime is ending in 20 minutes, but I've had meetings all morning in this corner of my living room, just enjoying here, living my best life, and then I am filming this video here. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what, no, I need my big screens, so I go up into my office and I work from there for the rest of the day. It really just depends on what takes my fancy. There are times when I go into my living room and just sit on my kitchen, and I just sit on my dining room table and work from there, because that is where I want to work. Maybe I want to sit upright, or I want a bigger space because my dining table is bigger than my standing desk. So, you know, it depends. There are days when I don't even want to leave my bed, so I just go into my office, get my laptop, and sit in bed, and I will do my work from there. I have all of these options available to me as somebody who works from home. You know, sometimes I can go star crazy. This is why I like to change up my location. And sometimes I go to the coffee shop, but going to the coffee shop requires me to spend money to use the coffee shop and their Wi-Fi. And sometimes I don't want to, I just want to be at home. But I have zero regrets about buying a 3-bed property all by my lonesome. I hope it's an inspiration to young girls out there, especially the young girls who look like me. You know, it is doable, it is possible, it is within your capabilities. That's what I want to say. But also I do want to caution people out there and say, please do not buy too much house. And I don't mean by size, I mean by finances. So if your finances don't make sense, then don't take the plunge. Okay, buy something smaller and then maybe save up and then move to a larger property. You don't have to start with a 3-bed. You can start with a 1-bed, or you can start with a 2-bed, you can start with a 4-bed if that's what you want. It's all up to you. You can do it all by yourself, you can do it with a partner, you can do it with your siblings, you can do it however you want to do. But it's just, there's a lot of judgment for a single person doing these things. But I also say that it doesn't really matter. People will talk regardless of how you do it. You do it with a partner, well, it is risky. What if you break up? What if you do it alone? Well, why would you want to do that? You know what, it makes sense to do with a partner. You will never win anyway, so just do what makes you happy. I know I'm happy that I bought my 3-bed 2-bath house all by my lonesome. I don't like that I have to clean it all by my lonesome, but sometimes I don't have to. I just hire somebody to clean the house if I want to. I love my 30s. I'm very excited for my 40s in 2 years time, but right now we're enjoying the 30s and the extra monies that we can have to hire a cleaner, because the house is too big for me to clean by myself. I mean, I still do it. It takes me 5 hours to clean the whole house up and down. Do I care? Not really. In that moment I do, and I complain and I make noise about it, but at the end of the day it's still my space and I love it for me. That's a lot of talking, Miss Malanga. That's a lot of talking. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you bought the property by yourself, if you are a homeowner, if you bought it with a partner. What are your thoughts on people buying properties by themselves? And yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, no qualms about it. People can have their opinions, and that's okay. Your opinion, your thoughts. It has no impact on my life and my thoughts. So, yeah, but okay. I have 15 minutes or thereabouts to eat lunch. I think I've spoken enough. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna edit this video and make it live for you guys soon. I will see you in my next video real soon. Until then,